Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's CX Quick Tips. And I have with me somebody who actually knows all about leading a legendary customer experience and helping organizations to do that. Herself, a legend, Jeanne Bliss. Jeanne, thanks for joining me on the show today.
Hey, Jim, and happy birthday. It's your birthday today. Woo!
Thank you very much. So that means for everybody, we're going to be replaying this all
Over and over.
Okay, so you and I had the opportunity to chat a little bit before we're broadcasting here. We only have 10 minutes, all right? So
Yep.
we definitely want to get to the points that are going to help somebody be successful and take what we know to CX success. And so it's like, how do you become a customer experience legend?
Is that a question?
That is a question for Miss Jeanne.
So I think for the person or the leader, it's around what I call leadership bravery, choosing and being really deliberate about what you will do to grow and being just as clear about what you won't do. For me, Jim, customer experience is not about the mechanics, it's about the meaning of the work. At the end of the day, are you showing up as an elevated kind of company? Are you admired for how you conduct yourself? And are your people elevated and raised to enable themselves to bring the best version of themselves to work? So leaders let that happen. They create an atmosphere where people are part of something greater than themselves, and they never forget it. They never put, quarterly pressure against the end game, the long picture.
So you talked, okay, so you gave us some insight into the leader and the leadership, but if you can, get a little bit more succinct on what type of leadership creates a CX legend.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are we trying to get to the 3 blocks long at this point?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, for me, I learned it's about humanity, really, humanity and leadership and who you are as a person. I tell a story, it's on the front of my website, about my dad. He had a Buster Brown shoe store. And when he retired, a line of people 3 blocks long stood to say goodbye to him. And so, but what happens, Jim, in so much of this work is that people don't think about their 3 blocks long. They don't architect who they want to be as people, how they want their operation to show up. And so my whole approach to this is know it, build it, and live it. You have to know how you want to show up. You have to build your operating model around it, and then you have to live it as leaders.
Okay, you have to, okay, but to me that, and somebody just said this a moment ago when I was on a Clubhouse interaction call when I was talking about these experts, and you are one of them, and there's been many others. It's been on the Fast Leader Show, and we've talked about the customer experience ecosystem. And for me, it's become very clear over the past 20 years of working in CX what we need to do, but it's the how part. So when you say, build it, what do you mean by build it?
Well, rebuild your operating plan. We haven't been doing journey maps for a long time with my clients. We do what I call a goal map, which is understand your customers' goals. Go out and instead of validating how you're doing, you have to understand what they need and what they require as a result of giving you their money. And so once you understand your goal map, for example, Jim, I was doing work with Bombardier Aerospace, the part of the company that sold private planes to high wealth individuals. The really great service and parts people said, let's build the service and parts experience. As we were doing to build it. But I said, do your customers really care about a service and parts experience? They want to keep me flying experience. So we needed to build a new ecosystem with pilots, people who took care of the planes, yes, service and parts, but also concierge and tracking, not just how many service and parts we took. It's changing the metrics of what you measure, which drives the new build. So what we began to measure was the number of days they were in the air, the number of days they were not in the air that they wanted to be, and how long it took us to get them back in the air. And that glues multiple silos together. So the beginning of Build It has got to be reorienting the work of your business to be about what the customer cares about and what the customer measures as success.
I think that is a great example of that whole viewpoint of, inside out, outside in, when you even just talk about the difference in the name change.
Yes.
So it's not, no, it's a keep me flying experience. It's not a parts experience. That's you, the keep me.
That's what you care about. That's right. It's not I've been working with, for example, a big association for house cleaners.
Hmm.
I said, you're not cleaning houses anymore. You're creating safety. You're a customer peace of mind artist. You're a safety expert. Don't just leave notes about how you've now kept this home safe. The furniture manufacturers, the delivery of a couch now is not about the couch. It's about a place for your family to be together. And they're having a lot of supply chain issues, as anything that has to do with nesting. But the key to this is that you're delivering something that's much more than a physical thing. You're delivering an emotional experience. You're delivering the ability to nest. And so that's really what has to happen, is this reorientation of the business and the gluing of the silos together by redefining what you measure.
Okay. So, and then that's extremely helpful. And I know that you have a load of resources and tools and stories. You've written several books. But then the hard part is, okay, you can go in, you can do these things and they can make some changes, but ultimately for it to be sustainable, I think that's where the live it comes in.
That's what live it is. So that's leadership and that's accountability. One of the things that we do when we build a goal map is we actually also change how we hire people, how team metrics change, and the accountability. Instead of sitting through a CEO report out silo by silo, the conversation is goal by goal. And so you also have to change the language of leaders, Jim, to be united around the customer's life. And also to prompt people as they're presenting things or pitching to push back on the inside out or the individual silo-based project. And that takes a while. It takes a while for leaders to live that. But once it's embedded, it's not strapped to the back of the brave crusader who made it happen, because so much of our CX efforts are at risk where the champion leaves the room, leaves the building, leaves the company, and all of that effort goes with them. So if you do know it and build it, but not live it, it's still going to be short term.
Okay, so now the live it piece, I also have seen and heard that people have this constant battle, and I just wish it would end, is that, oh, you got to do it from top down. No, you have to do it from bottom up. The reality is you have to do both.
You have to do both.
Research on transformation means you have to do them both.
That's right.
How do we cut through the middle so that we can live it?
Well, what's fascinating, and COVID has given us some gifts in a weird way. One of the great gifts that they've given us is the ability to break through the rigmarole of the hierarchy and say to the middle, you're the ones living this for real. Tell us what you need to do. Give people a seat at the table. You need to give the people in the middle a seat at the table at architecting the solution, but also trust them. Now, this isn't blind trust. One of my favorite stories from this crazy book I wrote called Would You Do That to Your Mother is about a beloved airline in the United States called Alaska Airlines. They inventoried, Jim, the top 5 reasons why people are upset during an airline experience. You can immediately brainstorm what those are. You know what they are and you've lived them. Instead of requiring people at the front and the middle to keep asking for permission, they proactively created 10 options that are on an app. You look at the app and you make the call. So the people in the middle were part of inventorying them. They were part of making the call, and they're part of the oversight. But that's about being proactive. But if you don't know it, you can't be proactive about what you build so that people can live it and be trusted.
Most definitely. We have to make sure that we're greasing the wheels so the machine can turn faster.
Well, and just that there's this spirit of people. Every time you require a person at the front line to go into the middle and to navigate or argue or debate, you're diminishing the spirit of both those people. And you've got a customer waiting for you who's going, what in the world is happening here?
Exactly, because customers want speed, and we need speed as an organization.
Oh, yeah. And, I have clients who have lost $20 million customers waiting for a $300 change fee to be accepted, right? Or to get removed. It's just silliness what we do.
Most definitely. Jeanne Bliss, our time is up. And I
Oh,
enjoyed our conversation. How can CX Quick Tip listeners get in touch with you?
customerbliss.com. Very easy, just like it sounds. And I'm also on LinkedIn and Twitter at Jeanne Bliss.
Jeanne Bliss, thank you for sharing your CX know-how. And we look forward to seeing the rest of you every single Tuesday at 1:05 Eastern for a CX Quick Tips. Jeanne, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.